We're ready for our word problem for today. So what I want you to do is I want you to set up the problem the way we normally do. And I'll give you a second to do that on either your whiteboard or on a blank piece of paper. Here we go. Today's problem is this. Sammy and Cindy had 13 fish. 9 of them are gold and the rest are blue. How many are blue? So we know that they had 13 altogether. And we know that 9 of them are gold. But what we're trying to find out is how many are blue. So we're actually missing a part in our problem. So if we're missing a part, are we adding or are we subtracting? That's right, we're going to be subtracting. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw our picture. So we said that they had 13 fish. Now I'm not going to draw fish. We're just going to draw circles instead of fish. And I'm going to go back to doing it using the 10 frame, but then I'm going to show you how to do it with our quick 10s and 1s as well, okay? So let's leave ourselves enough room to draw. So let's draw our 10 frame. We know 13 is 10, 3. So we're going to draw 10, and we're going to put our box around it, and then the 3 on the outside, 10, 3. 10, 3 is 13. Now, I know that 9 of them were gold. And then whatever's left over has to be blue. So for me to solve this problem, I need to take the 9 out of the total amount of goldfish, or of fish, and then figure out how many are left over, and that would be my answer. So can I take 9 from the 3 here? No, I can't. So what I need to do is I need to take 9 from over here. So again, I'm going to cross off 9 of these and have you do that with me. And then we're going to put a box around what we have left over here. We have 1 left on this side, and then over here we still have 3. So 1 plus 3, or I could say 3 plus 1, or I could say 1 more than 3 is, you got it, 4. So I believe 4 is my answer, but what we're going to do is we're going to be proving it here and here. Now, I told you I wanted to show you how to do it using quick 10s and 1s. Now, this happened yesterday, so I want you to make sure you understand it. We started with 13. So I'm going to draw my quick 10, 10, 11, 12, 13, right? But can I take the 9 from here? No. So what do I have to do? Yes, you got it. I'm so proud of you. We have to trade this 10 in for 10 1s. So now I'm going to make 10 1s here. And I want you to do that with me because we're not going to use this anymore, right? We're going to make it 10 1s, and then we have our 3 over here. So basically we're rewriting our problem. So we're going to put a big X through this one because we're not using that now. So now I have 10 1s and I have 3 1s. But I know 10 plus 3 is 13. Now, though, can I take my 9 away? Yes, I can. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm still left with 1 up here, just like here, and I'm left with 3 down here, just like there. So I don't care which way you do it, as long as you get the right answer. So you could do it the 10 frame way, which secretly is my favorite way. Or you could do it the 10s and 1s way, okay? So our answer here is 4. Now, let's look at our number bond. So we know our total fish. That's right, we're going to label it F. Our total fish was 13. Remember, how many did we say were gold? G for gold. Yes, 9 are gold. So now we need to figure out how many are blue. And the way we're going to figure that out is this. We could take 13 and count backwards 9. We could absolutely do that and get the answer. But it's quicker and you have less room for error if you go punch 9 and count up to 13. So let's do that. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We have 13 and we have 4 and that matches up here. So we could put our 4 there. So what I'm saying is 9 plus 4 equals 13. Now, here's where the tricky part comes in. Now, let's take a look at our number sentence, okay? Now, We started with how many? 13 this time. So we're doing a subtraction sentence, 13. We are taking away how many? Do you notice that I'm referring back to the picture all the time? So I drew 13 circles. I crossed off how many? 9. And that left us with 4. Put a box around the 4 to remind you it comes here. So how many blue fish did the girls have? We can say they had 4 blue fish. And that's a complete answer once I put the 4 in the middle. Now, one thing I want to remind you of is this. Once you get one answer, don't fill in all of the blanks. The reason you don't want to fill those in is because you're proving your answer. What if I went ahead and filled those in, but I came up with something different down here or something different up there? You need to really try to pay attention to making sure that you're getting the right answer each time. So our next part is going to seem fairly easy to you, but I want it to be a reminder to you as to how to find a missing addend. Remember, an addend is a number that is being added to another number to come up with an answer, which is also called the sum. So what I want you to do is, I want you to take a look with me and see how we figure out the answer, okay? So I have 6 plus something equals 11. So again, there's 2 ways to figure this out. I can go ahead and punch 6 and count on from there until I get to 11. Or I can take my answer 11 and count backwards 6. So in this case, let's do it both ways to see if we come up with the same answer. So what I want to do is I'm going to punch 6 and count up to 11. So we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm coming up with an answer of 5. But now let's do it backwards and see if that works. I'm going to take the 11 and count backwards 6. So we're going to say 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Did I land on 5? Yes, I did. So I know 6 plus 5 more equals 11. And if I wanted to draw that out, I can draw my 6 in a 10 frame. So here's my 10 frame. And now what I have to do is draw my 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know I have 10 here plus 1 more, which is 11. Now, let's look at the other way around. I'm going to take 11 minus something equals 6. So what happens if I'm missing the number that they're taking away? How do I figure that out? Well, this one's a little more tricky, isn't it? So instead of us doing 11 minus something, what I can do is actually take the 6. I can go 11 minus 6 and come up with my answer. Or I can again punch that 6 and count up to the 11. Let's do it and see if we come up with the same answer. So we're going to go 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Kind of like what we did on the other one, right? So you can kind of use the same strategies to come up with the answer. And then we're going to just punch 6 and then count up 5 to see if we get to 11. So we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's that 5. Okay? So again, if I started with the 11, so if I draw out my 11, just like I did over here, this picture's going to look a little different because now we're subtracting. So if I subtract 5, then I'm going to box what I have left. I have 5 here plus 1 more there. 1 more than 5 is 6. So what I also want you to notice is this. These 2 number sentences I chose purposely because I wanted you to notice that they were part of a fact family. So I want us just to take a look real quick. I'm just going to put it in this box down here. We started with 6 plus 5 equals 11. Well, there's another number sentence that goes along with that. If you said the switcheroo, you're right. We're going to do 5 plus 6 equals 11. Because it doesn't matter what order I put those numbers in, I didn't add or take anything away from here. They still equal 11. Now I need to do my 2 subtraction sentences. This time I'm going to start with my total. 11 minus 6 equals, 5, the leftover number, right? Because we've only used 6, 5, and 11. And now I'm going to do it again. I'm going to say 11 minus 5 this time equals 6. So you have 4 number sentences, and they're all connected because they use the numbers 5, 6, and 11. There were no other numbers that were used in those number sentences. Now it's time for the lesson of the day. And again, it's going to be a lot of repetition of what you've heard in the past couple of days. It's really important that you slow down, listen to what I'm telling you, and soak it all in. And then you decide which strategy works best for you, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at 19 plus 2. So the first thing I did was I have a 10 stick and 9 ones, okay? So here's my 10 stick and 9 ones. 10, 9 is 19. Now what I want to do is I want to add 2 more to it, okay? So if I add 2 more to it, I know I can add 1 to my 9 to make it a 10 because we know our friends of 10, 9 plus 1 is 10. So now I have 2 10s and I still have this 1. So 10, 20, 21. I have 21. So I'm pretty sure 21 is going to be my answer. But what I want us to do is I want us to look at this in the number bond way, okay? And you need to decide, are we going to be taking it and adding together our 1s, or are we adding our 10s? And here's the way you know. If I look at a 2-digit number and I'm adding it to a 1-digit number, that means that these are just 1s. If there's just 1 digit, 1 number, those are 1s. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it apart so that my 1s are closer to the other ones. Watch this. So I'm going to break it apart. We know that 19 is 10, 9. So I put my 1s closest to the other ones. I'm going to circle 9 and 2. So down here I'm going to say 9 plus 2 equals 11. Okay? Then I'm going to bring this 11 down here. You don't have to draw the arrow, by the way. And I'm going to add it to the number I didn't use, which is the 10. So 11 plus 10. And you're probably going, I don't know that answer. But let me show you. Let's think about this. If I'm adding a 10 to something, I know that the only thing that's going to change in this number are my 10s. This digit right here. So the 1s are staying the same, just 1. And now I have to add a 10. So instead of having 1 10, I have 2 10s. So I'm saying the answer is 21. Okay? Now, an easier way to do this, and again, like I said, I'm showing you different ways to do it. I'm just going to draw a line here and show you. I'm going to rewrite it. 19 plus 2. Watch this. To me, this makes it a little easier. If I want to bring this up to the nearest 10, which remember, a 10 could be 10, 20, 30, 40, and so on. If I want to bring this up to a 10, I'm going to be bringing that up to 20. Well, if I look at this digit right here, how many does 9 need to make a 10? That's right, 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, number 2, can you give me a 1? And number 2 is going to go, absolutely. So 1's going to go here. Well, if I take 1 out of the 2, I'm left with another 1 over here. So I can circle this here and go, okay, 19 plus 1 more equals 20. And then I'm going to take that 20 and add it to the number I didn't use, which is 1. So 20 plus 1 is 21. I came up with the same answer, didn't I? So I could break it down into 10s and 1s, or I can break down the smaller number here, the 1-digit number, and go ahead and figure out how many it needs to make a 10. So in this case, it was easier to do it the bottom way. Now, let's take a look over here. Over here, what we have is 19 plus 20. Now, in this case, there's 2 digits and 2 digits, and one of those numbers is a 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be breaking this number down into 10s and 1s. And guess what? The 10s are going to be closer to the other 10s. So instead of writing 10, 9, I'm actually going to write it 9, 10. And that's okay. Remember, we could do the switcheroo because we're using the same numbers. It doesn't matter. So now I'm going to circle my 10s. So I have 20 plus 10 equals something. Well, basically this is 2 10s and 1 10. 2 plus 1 is 3, and I'm going to add my 0. But I'm not done there. I now have to bring my 30 over here and add it to the number I didn't use, which is 9, and that gives me 39. And that would be my answer. Now, if I'm going to draw this, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a quick 10 for my 19, and then I'm going to draw my 9 ones. Okay, so there's my 9 ones. So now I have to add 20 to it. Am I drawing 20 ones? No, I'm just going to draw 2 10 sticks, but guess what? I'm not drawing them over here. I'm going to try to keep my 10s all together. So I'm going to draw 10, 20. So now let's count it. 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. I came up with the right answer. So this hopefully will help you with your homework for today. So what you're going to do is you're going to be getting out your workbooks, and you're going to be on today pages 61 and 62, and they look something like this. Okay, and I'll show you 62 in a minute. So on 61, what I'd like to do is go over problem number 3 and 4 with you. And I thought we would do 3 and 4 because it's easier for you to see adding a 1-digit number and then adding a 2-digit number. So that's what we're going to do. So let's take a look. We have 15 plus 4. So I know that I'm looking at a 1-digit here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down into 10s and 1s. And I'm going to say, okay, I have 10 5 because I know 15 is 10 5. And I also know I just put my 1s next to more 1s. So we're going to circle 5 and 4 and then add those together. 5 plus 4 equals, yes, 9. And then you bring that 9 down to add it to the 10 that you didn't use. So I can ask you, what's 9 plus 10? Or the easier way is, what is 10 plus 9? Or 10 9, which is 19. And I can write my answer here. Now to prove your answer, let's draw it. We have a 10 stick and 5 1s. There's my 10 stick and 5 1s. Now I need to draw 4 more. So if I add it, I have 10, and then we knew there was 5 here, so that's 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. The answer is correct. Okay? Now, let's look at number 4, which is right across. We have 15 plus 20. So automatically, when you see this number right here, you should say, oh, it's a 10 that we're adding. So what we're going to do is we're going to break this number down, and we're going to make sure that the 10s are closer to the other 10s. So again, I'm going to put the 5 here and the 10 here. Okay? So I'm going to circle my 10s. 20 plus 10 equals, and we just did this. So I have 2 10s and 1 10, so 2 plus 1 is 3, and then I'm adding my 0. And then I'm going to bring that number down, 30 plus the number I didn't use, which is 5, equals 35. Do you agree? I sure hope so. Now, again, let's do some quick 10s and 1s. I'm going to draw 15 again. There's my 15. But this time I'm adding 2 10s. And remember, make sure you put them closest to your other 10s. So there's my 1 10 and 2 10s. So I have 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So I know my answer is 35. Okay? So now, that's page 61. Page 62 is very similar. But the reason I wanted to show you this is because what it did was it has the smaller number first. And it's okay. Sometimes you might look at it and think that, oh, that's wrong and I shouldn't do it this way. You absolutely can do it this way. So what I want you to do is this. We're still going to break down the number into 10s and 1s. And I'm still looking at this and saying, okay, is that 1 digit or 2? This is one digit. That means it's only ones. So I'm going to break this number down and make sure that my ones are on that side now. So 26 is exactly that. Listen to it. 26. 26. So now I know I can circle my ones, and I hope a big light's going on, going ding, 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 ding. 6 plus 4. Yes, it's a friend of 10. 6 plus 4 is 10. Plus, we have to add it to the number we didn't use. Now again, does it matter that my smaller number is first? No, it doesn't matter. So we have 1 10 plus 2 more 10s. 1 plus 2 is 3, and then you have your 0. So 30 is your answer. Now let's draw it, okay? So I'm going to draw the 26 first. I'm going to draw the bigger number first. I have 10, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I have to draw my 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you know that 6 plus 4 is 10, you can go ahead and make that into a 10. So I know I have 3 10s. So let's take a look at our 10 in 1 frame. 3 10s and no 1s. So our answer does match. So again, on page 61 and 62, that's your job for today. Now, the one thing I do want you to do is cross off the bottom of page 62. You don't need to do that because it's something that we probably would have done in class. But I just want you to cross off the last 2 and then go ahead and finish these answers. Please make sure that your parents take a picture of it and send it in to your teacher. And if you have any problems at all, please contact us. We will be happy to help you.